Good day. Today we delve into a somber chapter of history to explore the practice of burying daughters alive in ancient Arabia. This custom, known as female infanticide, was prevalent in certain Arab tribes due to cultural beliefs and societal norms. It is important to understand that in ancient Arabia, sons were highly valued for their perceived economic and social contributions, while daughters were often seen as a burden. This skewed perspective led to the tragic fate of many infant girls who were buried alive shortly after birth. The reasons behind this practice varied, ranging from concerns about poverty and inheritance to fears of shame and dishonor. Additionally, some tribes believed that having more daughters than sons was a sign of weakness or bad luck. Despite the inhumane nature of this custom, it persisted for centuries in certain regions of Arabia. It was not until the advent of Islam and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad that efforts were made to abolish this barbaric practice and elevate the status of women in society. In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Arabian desert, life in the 6th century was a daily struggle for survival. The sun scorched the sands, and water was a treasure more valuable than gold. Tribes roamed the arid land, their lives dictated by the rhythms of nature and the harsh realities of their environment. Among these tribes, a practice emerged, born from desperation and rigid adherence to tribal honor: the burial of daughters alive. Jabir, a chieftain of the Banu Tamim tribe, stood outside his tent, looking out over the horizon. His wife Layla had just given birth to their 3rd child. As the midwife approached, her solemn expression confirmed Jabir's fears. It was a girl. Jabir's mind raced. He thought of his 2 sons, strong and growing, who would one day defend their tribe and contribute to its prosperity. But a daughter? She was seen as a future burden. In the harsh economic climate, daughters did not contribute in the same way. They required care and resources, and when they married, they left with a dowry, draining the family's wealth further. In a society where survival was paramount, the birth of a daughter posed a significant dilemma. Jabir loved his children dearly, yet the cultural and economic pressures weighed heavily on his mind. He had witnessed the consequences of daughters being captured in raids, the shame it brought upon families, and the dishonor that lingered like a dark cloud. Pre-Islamic Arabian society was fiercely tribal, with honor and shame playing crucial roles in shaping behaviors and practices. The Banu Tamim prided themselves on their reputation. Stories of tribesmen defending their honor with their lives were told around the campfires, instilling a sense of duty and sacrifice in every member. Layla, recovering from childbirth, knew the pain in Jabir's heart. She had seen other mothers lose their daughters to the sands, their cries swallowed by the desert. It was a brutal practice, yet one deeply ingrained in their way of life. She whispered prayers to the gods of their ancestors, hoping for a change in their fate. Days turned into nights as Jabir wrestled with his decision. His heart ached at the thought of burying his newborn daughter, yet the pressures of his role as a chieftain and protector of his tribe pressed down on him. The fear of economic strain, the possibility of future dishonor, and the rigid gender roles dictated by their society were powerful forces. One fateful evening, Jabir summoned the tribe's council. Elders gathered, their faces lined with the hardships of desert life. They discussed the tribe's future, their resources, and the necessity of maintaining their honor. In the flickering firelight, Jabir voiced his fears and the decision he was leaning towards. There was a heavy silence, broken only by the crackle of the flames and the whisper of the wind through the tent. The night was cold, a rare chill sweeping across the desert. Jabir stood over a small, freshly dug grave, his heart breaking. He held his daughter close, her tiny fingers grasping at his robes. Layla watched from a distance, her silent tears mingling with the dry earth. In that moment, Jabir was not a chieftain, but a father. He whispered a prayer, seeking forgiveness from the gods for what he was about to do. As he placed his daughter into the grave, her cries pierced the night, echoing the sorrow in his soul. With trembling hands, he covered her with sand, each handful a testament to the cruelty of their world. Years passed, and the desert remained as relentless as ever, yet whispers of change began to spread. A man named Muhammad, from the tribe of Quraysh, started preaching in Mecca. His message was one of mercy, compassion, and equality before one God. He condemned the practice of burying daughters alive, calling it a grave sin and a violation of human dignity. Jabir, now an older man, listened to these teachings with a heart heavy with regret. The new faith, Islam, spoke to a better future, one where daughters were valued and protected. Jabir saw in this message a chance for redemption, a way to atone for the past. The teachings of Islam slowly took root, challenging the old ways and offering a glimmer of hope in the harsh desert. As Islam spread across the Arabian Peninsula, the practice of burying daughters alive was abolished. The Prophet Muhammad's teachings emphasized the value of all children, regardless of gender, and introduced new social and economic reforms that alleviated some of the pressures that had led to such practices. The heartbreaking practice of burying daughters alive in ancient Arabia reflects a dark chapter in human history, driven by cultural norms and the harsh realities of survival. Amid the scorching desert and the fierce struggle for honor, these tragic acts unfolded, highlighting the immense pressure on families to conform. Yet even in such a bleak landscape, a beacon of hope emerged. The teachings of the Prophet Muhammad and the rise of Islam heralded a new era of compassion and equality. Condemning the barbaric practice, Islam brought forth a revolutionary shift, valuing all children and introducing reforms that alleviated societal pressures. This powerful transformation from cruelty to compassion showcases the profound impact of change and the enduring human spirit's capacity for redemption and progress.